Okay, so in this lesson, I want to talk about the tune Buck Dancer's Choice and some things you can do to improvise on that. If you want to get your hands on a transcription of what I just played, you can go to the link below or the link on screen, sign up for my newsletter, and get a download of the tab. And that's actually my recollection of the Taj Mahal version of the tune. And there's actually, the Buck Dancer's Choice, I'm pretty sure the first recording is the 1928 recording by Sam McGee. And that's faster and a little more straightforward. That version sounds to me like it's capoed around the 3rd fret. The Taj Mahal version from his record "Oh So Good in Blues" sounds to me like it's tabbed. It's capoed at around the 5th fret, and but it's simpler to sort of compare and contrast them all just in open position. But if you go to check out the recordings, just know that these are also really closely related. The Taj Mahal version sounds to me, it's slower and more relaxed than the Sam McGee version. And so it sounds to me like maybe it was also influenced by the John Hurt tune Stock Time, which is also sometimes called Buck Dance on some recordings. And the John Hurt version, I don't think is capoed at all. It's sort of a similar idea. But all these tunes are related. And so the thing is, if you're going to actually, and Buck Dancer's Choice, one of the things that makes it such a great tune to learn and to play is that it's got these multiple sections. So you really don't need to improvise on it because it's got a few sections to go through. Once it does the main section in C, there's usually some kind of descending chord thing, and Taj Mahal does a version of that that's different from the Sam McGee version, and then he goes into a variation of the melody. So he's playing around with the melody on the high strings. So there's all of that going on. But once you sort of know the general vicinity of where things are, you can start to pick some of those things apart once you know the main melody. But in terms of just looking at it as a chord progression that you could play over, what have we got? So we've got C, F, C. And then we've got C, G. And then we've got C, F, C. And then, depending on how you think about it, something like F, G, C. So I've broken it into 4 little sections, right? So we've got C, and then a F to C, quick. And then C, and then a whole bar of C and a bar of G. And so that makes up, you can put that together into one sort of 4-bar section, right? So C, F to C, and then C, G. Now C, a repeat of the first thing, and now instead of C to G, we've got F to G to C. So we can think of these as these 4 moments. When you've got basically like an 8-bar tune, you can kind of think of it as, well, I can play something that lands on the downbeat, I can play something that resolves into the 3rd beat, into the 5th bar, into the 5th bar and into the 7th bar. So you've got these moments. So just taking a really simple phrase and like that, the 5th, the 6th, the 5th, and the root, and just putting it over the bass. So, you take the tune and you strip out the fingers, right? And you just leave the bass. can start to think about what you're going to put over it. And so it's just a good exercise in sort of the beginning of that, like, you know, deconstruct it and then start to build it back up with more of a improvised or original melody. And if you can take that one simple phrase that lands on the downbeat, and 4 and 1 has that kind of rhythm, and get it to land in all those spots, it's a good place to start. And conveniently, all of those spots are on a C chord, no matter where you may go in between. There's a C to G, and then I guess this one is an F. Right, but they all work with this landing spot, and so that's a short kind of phrase, and you can start to find other similarly sort of major yet bluesy phrases, or that, you know, so flat 3 to 2 to 1, or root to flat 3 to 3 to root, right? So flat 3 to 6 to root, I guess that's what I meant to do. So or let's see if this one works. It's a little trickier, but it can be done. So now you've got these little phrases. So you're playing the tune. I guess I started to swing the groove. It's really not a swinging groove, it's really straight. So we got to think about that again. Okay, so there it is, straighter. That's what I meant to do, and it would have been so cool if I'd gotten it on the first try. Anyway, the idea is you take the tune, you get these little fragmentary bits you can include in the tune, and then the way to practice improvising on a tune like this is to just have those spots. Like we've just picked 3 little licks and 3 specific 4 specific places to land them, like going into each of, into bar 1, into bar 3, into bar 5, and into bar 7. And then you just take the tune that you know at this point, like once you've learned the tune, as a way to start sneaking licks into the song. And you can sort of just go, you can have this sort of ebb and flow between playing the melody and playing your improvisation. You can have the melody with moments that are improvised. You can have a whole 8 bars where you're improvising. You can have a whole 8 bars where you go back to the melody. And that's just a way to sort of cycle around and find a way to build some variety and variation to what you're playing. So, Buck Dancer's Choice, if you want to download the transcription of my approximate recollection of about how Taj Mahal plays it, you can go to the link below or the link on screen, sign up for my newsletter, get the tab. If you've got questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll see you next time.